What's going on, YouTube? Adrien Broner versus Adrian Granados is going down February 11th, 2017. Hopefully it's here in Chi-Town. Adrian Granados, he's from Chi-Town, man. The Chi-Town area. He's from. You can say he's like he lives in Cicero, Illinois, but Chi-Town. You know what I'm saying? He got people up in Chi-Town. You can say he's from Chi-Town, Chicago, Illinois. But long story short, man, you remember I did a video, and I had mentioned Adrien Broner was going to be one of the opponents for Adrian Granados, one of his next opponents and stuff like that, because he had a phone call, pretty much from Big Al and a few other people, and it was Crawford, Victor Poster, Ruslan Provatnikov, and I believe and most definitely Adrien Broner. But yeah, man, it's going down, man. It was really going down. I was talking to one of his people, and I was like, look, man, I was like, why didn't your boy sign that PBC series contract? Why didn't he sign with Al or something like that to go ahead so he can stay active and stuff like that? Your boy ain't doing nothing. He's really just sitting on the sidelines and stuff like that, And so he said, man, dude, yeah, I understand that, but the contract never came through, you know what I'm saying? Nobody ever sent anything, any paperwork or anything like that. So, Adrian Granados just signed with a new team or something like that. I forgot the name of the team or whatever like that. Not a well-known team. I never heard of these guys. So I don't know if it was new promoter, new management or something like that, but he's got somebody new in his camp. So, with that being said, man, not too long after that, here we go, man. We got Adrien Broner versus Adrian Granados, man. So it's going down February 11th. Adrian Granados, he's got to be careful, man. Adrien Broner, he's a hothead, man. He's slapping around waitresses and stuff like that. You can't. This dude's off the chain, man. He's off the chain, dude. So, he's paying off witnesses and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? But nah, man, I'm just playing around. But yeah, man, you guys let me know what you think about Adrien Granados. Yeah, if you guys don't know nothing about this dude's tough, man. He's never been knocked out. He said it. He said this to me. This is words coming out of his mouth when I'm talking about him. He's like, he's like, yeah, man, I'm crazy, man. He's like, I'm Mexican, but he's not crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? He's just making sure he's getting the best deal for him. Like I mentioned in one of my previous videos, when I mentioned that he's had some fights online, that he's gonna make the best deal for him, and that whatever he does next, he's gonna make sure he gets paid. So I'm pretty sure he's getting paid to fight, Adrien Broner. This is a good fight for Adrien Broner. He won't have to look for Adrian Granados. Won't have to worry about cutting off the ring on Adrien Broner, right? Right off the bat, he won't have to be looking for Adrien Broner, man. This is gonna be like an action-packed fight. Granados is Adrien Broner's gonna be there. He's somewhat flat-footed, but he's gonna be there in that Philly shell and stuff like that, doing his little counter punches and stuff like that. And Adrien Granados, man, he's just gonna be a workhorse, letting his hands go. He might get reckless every now and then. He might get a little bit reckless. He might get knocked down maybe once or twice. But yeah, man, this is a tough one. I ain't gonna do no prediction on this one. I'm not gonna do a prediction at all on this one, man. Cause Granados, He's from Chi-Town and stuff like that, man. I know one of his people and stuff like that. And then on top of that, you got Broner. I'm a fan of Broner and stuff like that, man. Every time you talk about Broner, man, I got the popcorn out, the pom-poms out, and stuff like that. I got the sweater. I was like, I got the sweater and stuff like that. And I'm doing chants, like A, B, A, B, A. I'm doing all that stuff for Adrien Broner, No, I'm messing around. But yeah, I am an Adrien Broner fan, man. So I'm a fan of both of these guys. I wish them well, man. Adrien Broner versus Adrian Granados, man. Battle of the Adrians. They can only be they can be only one. Okay, they can only be one. All right, man. But somebody ain't tell their mamas though. So somebody ain't tell their mamas that they can only be one Adrian. So that narrows the problem. And so, with that being said, we're gonna have to let the tiger out of the cage. Y'all like that? I did that, cause that's old boy's alias. Adrien Broner's alias is the problem. Adrian Granados, his nickname is the Tiger. You know what I'm saying? I'm messing with y'all, man. All right, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. I'll catch y'all later. All right, bye.